Oh, I'm gonna be diesel mechanic soon. So this is a Homelight Jacobsen AR 522, and we had a no start with this machine. First thing I did, I replaced the battery. It was low. Checked for fuel. Loosened the fuel filter right there, and that's the lift pump. It was filling this filter, and I had fuel going into the injection pump. I then cracked one of the injector lines, and I had no fuel. So, doing a little research. Again, I'm not a diesel mechanic. That part right there with that wire going to it, it's actually 2 wires, that's the fuel solenoid. It opens and closes and lets the fuel in. How it works is it has lift and hold, or hold and pull. So it's constant, both wires are hot, and it's grounded through the flange on that, it's hard to see here, on those mounting bolts, grounds to the block. That's the injector pump. So you have 12 volts, or roughly, that pull it open, and then a little around 12 or whatever that hold it open. I took it off, verified that it does work, and I was stumped again. Why isn't this working? Well, on these machines, there's only 2 fuses, and this circuit board or control board controls everything. So you have LED lights that will light up when you have power going to your whatever's calling for it. And I had hold, but I had no pull. So in other words, it was getting voltage to hold it open, but it couldn't open because there was no power to pull it open, if that makes sense. The good thing on this machine, they do mark the wires, and I can't remember, but white is pull and green and yellow is hold, or vice versa. So doing a continuity test after we took that bottom green pigtail out, which is where the wire came in from one of them, I had continuity. So wound up replacing the board. So the failure was in here. Fuel solenoid pull. Fuel solenoid hold did work. And if you're curious, that's a $1,200 part. Solenoid, which did work, was $129, and I was going to replace it. Luckily I didn't. Not that I would have lost a whole lot of money, but I would have wasted $130 on a part that does work. So if you do have one of these machines and it won't start, just turn over, and eventually there's a timeout switch on these. You can only turn them over for so long. This has a Kubota. What model number is this? B243, and this is not tier 4 final. This is pre all that crap. So it's just a regular diesel engine, no emissions, and it's also not high pressure, so you can crack one of these lines without fear of cutting your finger off. I wound up cracking that one right there. So put my hose clamp back on, put this cover back on. It's 4 bolts, 4 nuts that hold it on. Real pain getting those harnesses out. This machine's 10 years old new. They are weather packed, triple sealed, and the seals along with the grit makes for a tight seal. Tough to get out. Anyway, it does start. Fire it up. I'm relieved. So, we do use this machine a lot, and losing it for 2 weeks did hurt. So it'll be good to get it back out in the field, cutting, working, and taking the pressure off some of the other stuff. All in all, not a terrible job to do, just some electrical troubleshooting, and I would assume that this is a similar procedure on most diesels, because that's the heart right there. So, glad it wasn't the injector pump. I can only imagine how much that cost to replace. You can take that top panel off right there, and with those 4 10mm nuts, and there's a pin that goes in and a plastic plunger. It's all obviously all put back together. That's what allows you fueling. So, anyway, good learning experience. Glad it's repaired, glad it's fixed. And if any of you out there have a similar problem, not a bad place to start. Expensive repair, but cheaper than loading it on a rollback and sending it off to the dealer. You can only imagine what that would cost.